Dragon's Will, Chapter 128, Broken Oaths. The golden blade tore through the sky, illuminating the entire arena in a brilliant sacred light. Fuma brought the weapon down with absolute, lethal precision. Mituki slash. Ishori shrieked as the golden edge cleaved through the air. He twisted his body at the last possible fraction of a second, but he wasn't fast enough to escape completely. The blade bit deep, severing one of his massive wings clean off. Dark, corrupted blood sprayed across the sky. Ishori flew backward, desperately trying to maintain his balance with a single wing. Panic and pure fury contorted his face. Staring at Fuma, he threw his hand forward, his sharp nails gleaming with a sudden, volatile aura. Teki, laser claw. He violently slashed his claws through the air, expecting a barrage of hyper-concentrated elemental energy to tear Fuma apart. But nothing happened. No laser, no elemental blast, not even a spark. The air remained completely still. Ishori froze, his eyes widening in sheer panic. Huh? What? Before he could process why his Teki had suddenly failed him, Fuma rocketed through the dead space, using the momentum of his descent to drive a heavy, ki-infused boot directly into Ishori's face. The impact shattered Ishori's jaw, sending him hurtling backward across the sky until he crashed violently into the stone arena wall, buried under a mountain of debris. Down on the ground, Age pushed himself up from the shattered floor, coughing up blood as he braced his hands against his knees. He looked up at Fuma, his eyes wide with disbelief. "Look at Fuma," he breathed, a mixture of awe and relief bleeding into his voice. "This is incredible." He kicked him that hard. Nearby, Raito pulled himself from the rubble of his own crater, his dark aura flickering back to life. He adjusted his mask, his eyes locked onto Fuma's glowing golden sword. "This is interesting," Raito murmured under his breath, analyzing the sudden shift in the battlefield's energy. Meanwhile, Juro stood perfectly still in the center of the chaos. He didn't look up at Fuma's victory. He just slowly drew a deep breath from his cigar, the tip glowing a hot, angry orange. As the thick gray smoke drifted past his eyes, the sounds of the arena faded away, replaced by the heavy, rhythmic crash of ocean waves from a lifetime ago. Flashback, Haya Island years ago. The air on Haya Island was thick with humidity and the scent of salt. A younger, more aggressive Juro stood in a clearing, the muscles in his back straining and burning as he dragged a massive, felled tree behind him. Heavy ropes dug deep into his shoulders, but he kept pulling, his jaw clenched in a furious grimace. Standing nearby, watching with calm, discerning eyes, was Kateka-sensei. "Don't rely entirely on your muscles, Juro," Kateka said, his voice steady and grounded. "Use the pure ki. True power flows when the body stops fighting itself." Juro stopped dead in his tracks, his eyes flashing with a mad, volatile anger. He violently ripped the ropes off his shoulders and slammed his fists into his sides. Kateka's expression turned serious. "Juro, what's the point of this training if I can't destroy my enemies?" Juro exploded, stepping aggressively toward his master. "Huh? Tell me." Kateka didn't flinch. He looked at the young man with deep patience. Destroying enemies happens only if you have no other choice. True mastery is about protection, not slaughter. "How is this going to help me in the future?" Juro yelled, gesturing wildly around the isolated island. Training, but why? "My family is back home starving. My little sister is sick all the time. I didn't come to this miserable island to learn philosophy. Kateka, I came here to learn from you so I can use that knowledge to make some real money." Kateka sighed, shaking his head. "Learning the sacred arts just for money is a dark path, Juro. It poisons the spirit. For me, it's the only choice." Juro sneered, his voice dripping with bitter reality. "With money, you can achieve anything in this world. You can buy medicine, you can buy food, you can buy power." "You are wrong," Kateka said softly. "No, you are mad, and your techniques are useless." Juro screamed, his pride completely taking over. Unable to look at his master any longer, He turned his back and stormed off into the brush to simmer in his anger. Later that night, the island fell completely dark, saved only by the pale light of the moon. Inside the small sanctuary at the edge of the grounds, the shadows parted as Juro sneaked inside. His eyes immediately locked onto the central altar, where a legendary weapon rested, the Mituki blade, its golden hilt shimmering softly in the dark. "So, this is that blade," Juro whispered, stepping forward, "the one left behind by the ancients." Without hesitation, Juro reached out and gripped the hilt, pulling the sacred sword from its resting place. He turned around, a cold, hard look on his face. "I'm leaving. I've become strong enough over these few months anyway, and this sword will get me more than enough money to save my family." He took 3 steps toward the exit, when a sudden, devastating kick struck him squarely in the center of his back. Crack! Juro gasped as the wind was completely knocked out of him. He fell hard to the dirt floor, the Mituki blade slipping from his grip and clattering across the stones. Desperate, Juro began to crawl frantically after the weapon, his fingers stretching for the golden hilt, but a swift hand reached down in the dark, snatching the sword away before he could touch it. Juro pushed himself up, his eyes bloodshot with rage as he stared into the shadows. "What are you doing here?" he yelled. From the darkness, Kateka-sensei stepped into the moonlight, holding the sacred blade securely against his side. "Well, I live here, remember?" Juro spat on the ground, angrily turning his back on his master. Kateka looked at the young man's tense shoulders, his voice heavy with disappointment. "You are a hothead, Juro." Juro stopped, refusing to look back, his voice low and dangerous. "So what?" "In the morning, you will leave this island," Kateka commanded, the finality in his tone cutting through the night air. "You have disrespected the clan's name. You tried to steal their history. I am finished training you." Juro froze. A sudden wave of genuine shock washed over him, completely freezing his anger for a split second. But the shock quickly curdled into a bitter, deep-seated resentment. He clenched his fists so hard his knuckles turned white. "Fine," Juro hissed into the dark. "Fine.